Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today, I want to share the result of an experiment to choose the right front-end UI interface. I love work with different tools of UI. If you ask me what you prefer, Angular, React, I love each other. And recently I worked with Svelte. So this is a little trick to talk about a little bit of Svelte with a particular strategy. So, first let me introduce myself. I'm Michele, software engineer, and I work with different technologies. Here are my contact and free reach to reach out. I'm also proud to introduce Baccarat Tech, a media partner to support this event with an interview about speakers, different speakers. And Baccarat Tech is a community I co-founded with my friend Giorgio Basile and founded in 2023. And we grow this year significantly. These years we caught like Pokemon Antonio, Danilo, Vittorio, Davide, Moreno, and Lorenzo, and these guys help to maintain this project. Feel free to follow us and check out our different activities. It's a pleasure for us to support different events. This year's help and each other's Lecce, Venice, Modena, Roma, and so thank you. So, but start with the talk. The inspiration behind this talk is a workshop, code retreat, based on extreme programming, pair programming, test-driven development. It's very easy. Focus to develop one project, one application, called No Waste Games. Build, delete your code, very difficult, and build it again. The most important is a retrospective to understand what you happened, what you build, what you done. And I use the same path to try a little bit experiment. I built one Pokédex software in 3 different frameworks. So in Angular, in Svelte, and in React. My goals was not to understand the best, because maybe you have already your favorite framework, but to understand the different, measure the dev experience and performance. For this talk, I talk only for performance. But the retrospective is together, performance and dev experience, because it's very important. And the first lesson was a failure, a classic TDD outcome. So I asked myself, how do I measure the performance and the developer experience of a complex system? And a Pokédex, a table, a detail, and search is a complex system. The first step was divide, so create a simple component and try to understand better how to measure the system, the performance. So the foundation of this comparison between different tools is what are we measuring? What are the core behind our tools, what shows? For this measuring, I chose the core web vitals, a matrix defined by Google to measure how user experience. A very important matrix because it is a user-centric matrix, and these define how the best experience of users. For user, we have 3 main user metrics. Largest contentful paint, which means how fast does it feel to load, not the first impression, but completely load. Interaction to next paint, So we click some in the button, and what happened again? We wait, or we stay. We have the time to interact immediately. And the last cumulative layout shift is how much does the page layout jump around when we navigation, when we load, when we click, when we fetch. So these core web vitals are very important. But the most important, you understand that these have evolution, like Pokemon. So have a life cycle. When web vitals are a selected stable subset of all web performance metrics. There are a lot of metrics or something we want to measure to understand the velocity, the essential we understand that when this becomes stable is there are a philosophy behind. For example, some times ago there was first input delay. Focus on the first impression, but today we have interaction to next paint and focus on entire user session. So the focus is not to build a application, a user interface stable at the beginning, but at the entire user interaction. So now we have understand the metrics. Now we present the three contenders. We have Angular. Is very famous. We can assume most of you are already familiar with the Angular's core capabilities. Is the first choice for enterprise application, and but there are 2 points very important for behind Angular. The first is core behind Angular is change detection, very important to understand. Is a heavy runtime because we have change detection plus Zone.js. Change detection traverse the component tree from top to bottom, checking only specific path to see if the view needs updating. And this works only with synchronous operations. For asynchronous operation, we need to use Zone.js library. The second very important fact is the zoneless area. So we can use signal tools to build surgically and fine-grained updated when our data change. So this is a very upgrade. We don't need to wait all parser tree, but we can jump to the specific node we want to upgrade. Next, we have React. Unlike Angular, is a library. If you want to use a framework, you need to use Next.js. But React, because it's a library, meaning have a large very ecosystem. And for me, this is a greatness strength and also the greatness weakness. We are so free that we could introduce poorless or unnecessary or poorly performance in code. So the core performance mechanism behind React is virtual DOM. Maybe also this aspect is very popular. Virtual DOM build a lightweight copy of DOM. DOM is very heavy and have a mechanism. So it's the operation have a great cost. A high cost. So the technique of virtual DOM is build a different technique of diffing to build to upgrade so only the node value, very important. And the last we have Svelte that change completely the perspective. Svelte is a compiler first framework. that aims to let you write less code. It's very easy to write a framework, a UI with Svelte, because you need to use HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. You don't need to learn new concept like React, for example, JS6. JS6 has not HTML. So for me, also for a beginner, is very easy to learn. The strategy behind Svelte is to compile your component that is very similar to HTML and JavaScript. Use abstract syntax tree to build a performance JavaScript code and CSS code. Svelte takes a radically different approach and for React from React and Angular. And it runs with minimal overhead, near zero runtime. And Svelte isn't a framework you run in your browser, but run in your compile time. So the output is something like that, a high performance JavaScript that generates a single tiny surgical function to update your UI. Before start to the measuring, to understand how measuring, we have, I want to share with you 2 points about developer experience, because is very close to the culture team, is critical and personal biased. I think is the most human part of our jobs. Sometimes happen that we have a new technique, a new way. When I was a junior, the project was built with jQuery, and there was a standard. And also there was Angular and React. A lot of team don't want to change because know that technology. And also, for another example, TypeScript 10 years ago wasn't like for JS community, but today is a standard. There are a lot of new framework like Svelte, and few times ago introduced add TypeScript. And another very interesting concept is the cross-pollination between frameworks. For example, signals in Angular inspired by Solid.js. If I don't know, but maybe ask the team of Solid.js to help the core of Angular. And also, for example, .if and .each direction of template direction of Angular inspired by Svelte. Or another example, components and path redux. So try to new framework UI. It's very useful also if we don't use the next in our current job. So now let's start measuring and to understand how we can do. And the idea about try to measuring this UI framework was, okay, I understand maybe Svelte is very good, or maybe with signals we have a great improvement, but I can trust about this information. I want to try measure it and understand if it's good, it's real, and what are the limits. So the first metrics obviously is bundle size. Bundle size comprehensive, different engine, core modules, library. So if we add a lot of library, for example, for a React project, maybe our bundle size increase dramatically. But for example, if we upgrade our project for Angular Zone.js with Angular zoneless, maybe we can avoid to have, for result Angular, without have polyfills, because in the polyfills dependencies we have Zone.js library mainly. So with a strategy with Svelte, we have, in this case, 6 times smaller bundle size of React and Angular. So to start for measuring, the first step is the common step for all web developers: inspect our solutions. But it's very important to inspect only with the run production code, because it's more performance. And then we use incognito mode without extension. We can use performance, a lighthouse, but also we can use automatically code, like with property and rewrite. We have also production tools. I don't use, but it's very important because measuring the real user data. So we can find performance and lighthouse in tabs in the performance in the Chrome DevTools. And so, like I said before, we need to simplify, and I started with a table component, a table with 1,000 rows and 20 columns, so 20,000 DOM. It's a lot of elements that the browser needs to render. And the result was were not all what I expected, because I expected the Svelte was a best result, and Angular was and React was not a good result. Why happened this? The top part was the performance result is continuously measured across all web navigation, but Lighthouse measure a session, and output is a number. This number is good to slow, and have another parameters like accessibility, best performance, but we need to focus to performance. Other part is very important. The reason, but Svelte has not a good performance, but if I compare the time of running, of creation, was very similar. First Svelte with React. This is a result of React, and this is React of Svelte. The result of creation is 1 second, but the large contentful paint for React is better. Why? But if we want to notice one thing, swap operation change the row for Svelte is better, because it's for synchrony, for best way to update our UI. The reason behind this result is React have another tricks to name React Fiber, work well with the chunk a large job into the main thread of browser. In Svelte, if we want to have the same result, we need to build manually. And this is a great point to choose our solution. But this result was very strange for me, because I see this result in the table. The table, if you want to show with this work, JS framework benchmark, you can compare all framework of with table creation. And in this result, I see Svelte is better, because Svelte is better for this particular test. Large contentful paint measure all phase from the start to the end. So when we build, we can deep dive in the measuring to understand the processioning duration, so the framework works, and the presentation delay, so the browser works. So, the very important is understand why we have this type of performance. And try to have a new strategy for our solution. So in this case, if I choose Svelte, I need to improve this. And I choose two type of strategy. List virtualization is a common way to improve this type of situation, but also try to use a browser API like request idle callback work when browser don't render. But we also do not change other core web vitals like cumulative layout shift. Another very interesting result was a comparison Angular and Zone.js, Zoneless. Zone.js have 1 point better. The reason was Signal had some reactivity initially, so for the creation operation is very similar, but we have improvement for the swap operation. To understand better this situation, we can use new tools, the record of performancing, but this is complex and time-consuming. But if you want, we try to start a record, download your report, and send all your preference AI and ask what happened. If you want to use more automatically performance, you can code your result with Puppeteer Lite and Playwright with Lighthouse and performance. It's very useful. And also with the AI, it's very easy to build not only functional unit test, but also performance test, like this. We can call vibe test coding if you want. It's very easy to understand what happened behind, because in this case we have very close results. We can understand what happened real with a large number of iteration result tests, and understand what happened, what is the best or the best choice for us. And I want to remember that we have also new modern strategy to this part. I don't have much time, sorry. I have a lot of new example. For example, test. For example, a classic strategy in React, a class name. This function run in the runtime. So maybe there are a lot of time for change the style. For example, in this case. Svelte and React have different strategies. Svelte are a framework built-in solution. React have a library solution, external solution, so largest use for a lot of developers, but the result was not so. We have a best result for Svelte because built a precisely update. So I don't have a lot of time, but the core I want to share with you is the first step is whatever framework you want to choose, the best we want to understand is the results in this case is Core Web Vitals, because they change our search ranking, user experience. And these Core Web Vitals can help to choose the right tools for our solution and choose the right improvement if we can change the solution. The strategy I take from Code Retreat was try a sample, an edge case, and stress test, measure, understand what happened behind, and try a solution with this. And then you can evaluate if your strategy, if your tools is best. And use AI code to generate your test, your code, but you need to be very careful about what your results, because sometimes especially when you ask build Angular component like this table React component, maybe don't build perfect performance solutions, especially if you chose a framework or a library don't largest use. For example, Svelte, but also there are new frameworks recently added. I suggest you to try to explore different tools to measure our solution, because this can understand best the engine behind our tools. So frequently, some junior developers start to their career in React developer, but don't understand the browser behind work for our UI rendering. And that's it. I try to skip the part of I want to see the part of result, the part of you can inspect and see the performance and try to improve and to use these metrics. So thank you for everyone for joining us, and okay, stop. Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
No, it's not connected to the speakers.
Okay.
I'm just recording for the.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I was so confused. I didn't read any mention about a React compiler, and also
React?
if you React compiler,
Okay.
and also if you have used Svelte runes.
Sorry, repeat 1 second.
If you have used the Svelte runes.
Runes. See,
yeah.
yes. I use. So 1 second. I see. Maybe I want to very speed for presentation. Yes, I have in Svelte. I can use runes. The runes is magical, but is a reactivity language level. You can. This is the same way to define hooks reactivity, but works in compile time and define more. It's more clear, more easy to understand. This is the reactivity variable, because Svelte has an automatically reactivity without use runes. But this is creates some confusion and builds runes. I ask you, or
The question was about the React compiler.
React compiler. I don't. want to measure the result of a creation and then step by step go to the specific solution. No, I don't use, I don't have, but next time. There is step by step. For example, I tried, it's take me a lot of time to understand why large LCP for Svelte not good respect of React. And I study React scheduler. I don't know that this is automatically so. Next time, it's like a code retreat style. The focus is not build a solutions, but understand behind the core behind. And maybe you step by step take React compiler, Svelte functions, Angular signals, and try to compare or to understand what happened behind. So next time I add React compiler. Works with different frameworks. Don't let you go very deep dive with all different frameworks. So, but with this strategy, you can better improve your comprehensive. Thank you.